the boundaries delimitation, which is also another limb of this position of Kenya Kwanza.
Thank you, Chair. On boundaries delimitation, the boundary delimitation exercise, the review process, which is due to be done latest by March 2024, which is the 12th year outer limit required by the Constitution, is likely to stall due to lack of properly if it's not constituted. Honorable Chair, we stand for the fact that this delimitation be done by the IBC, because as per Article 29 of the Constitution, this boundary delimitation should be done after every between 8 to 12 years. When as we stand now, we are doing the last year, which is the 12th year, and therefore we strongly propose that this should be done so that we avoid a constitutional crisis. I would wish to add that, being very brief, that we further propose that Parliament and the Executive should fast track the process by allocating the required budget to the Commission, so that after the question of how to constitute the Commission, which will be handled by my brother here, is answered, it begins its work immediately to avoid constitutional crisis. I am aware that several groups appeared before yourselves and were talking about creation of not only constituencies but also creation of counties. So we strongly propose that this should actually be executed. Honorable Chair, we propose that the framework to be employed by the Commission during the boundary review and delimitation should be as already provided for in the Constitution under Article 89. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Allow me to move directly to the next issue. And the next issue is to do with the outstanding constitutional matters. I would want to begin by sharing with the many Kenyans who have suffered in many ways courtesy of the cost of living, and really stand with them, having been bred from a village point of a background. Honorable Chair, we understand the cost of living as an economic concept that refers to the general price level for goods and services that the average consumer will purchase for their activities of daily living. And we appreciate that these prices indeed are high, but we also appreciate that you know very well, Honorable Chair, that as a result of the international happenings that are not limited to the global inflation, to the high cost of living worldwide, the Ukraine war, and even the COVID pandemic, and further coupled with the local challenges that are not limited but include the prolonged drought we had in the last year, which was very, very prolonged. We saw the death of so many livestock, and further the issue of budget deficits, which we have had in Parliament, and further the borrowing, which I also had been talked about here a few minutes ago, generally has led us to where we are. Honorable Chair, I want to submit that we as Kenya Kwanza will look at this from a constitutional point of view, which is actually Article 43, and it clearly indicates that it is actually a right, that every person has a right, to the highest sustainable health, includes the right to health care services, etc., etc. I want to submit, Honorable Chair, that as the Kenya Kwanza government on the food security, the interventions undertaken by the government to actually increase on input subsidies in the sector of agriculture, by, for instance, lowering the cost of fertilizer and other inputs, and also making sure the quality of these inputs to our farmers are of high quality, both the seeds, the pesticides, and also reducing the cost of agriculture, which was originally 7,500 to now 2,500, should greatly go in putting to actually reduce the cost of living and actually reduce the cost of the essential food services. And I'm happy yesterday when I was watching the TV now, I see the farmers complaining about stores and not lack of the maize itself. And they're actually saying that we need to move in as government quickly to actually provide stores for these foodstuffs and actually avoid post-harvest wastage. On the issue of housing, Honorable Chair, I want to undertake that as Kenya Kwanza, we have boldly moved to deal with the issue of housing, and that's why we had the acrimonious finance bill, as you all know, which dealt with the housing situation. And we are targeting that we should be able to increase the housing situation in this country, and therefore reduce the mortgages to about 10,000, and also make sure that the number of mortgages rise from 30,000 to 100 to 1 million every year. And by doing this, we hope that the issue of housing is going to be taken care of. Let me also move to the issue of health, Honorable Chair, that Kenya Kwanza is a government in place as